Betty Rasmussen, Rasmussen. I live at Johnson Siding in South Dakota by Rapid City.
And your father was who?
My father was Dave Huisinga. He was from Chancellor, South Dakota.
I'm sorry, spell his name?
Huisinga. And he was in the CCC camp in 1935. And I brought my scrapbook today of his experience. He was in Hot Springs and at Wind Cave is what the camp he was at. And he was a baseball player, so we have lots of baseball statistics, and we have the newsletter that came out about every week on what was happening, and people writing about a dance that would be in Hot Springs and places for the guys to go. Here's my father's at bat, 51. His percentage on hitting was 372.
Good. So this is playing ball with the while in the CCC.
Yes, and he always told us that at Wind Cave he poured the cement for the steps when you go in, and how hard it was to do. And I have notes from him. He was also a driver for the CCC enrollees to Hot Springs, entitled to privileges. I have a note where they let him go home to Chancellor to play in the baseball tournament. But he had to be back because it was just like he was in the Army. Dave has to be back at 5 o'clock tonight from the CCC camp. I have photographs of them.
What is this? Is this photograph of
Some of the men, and this looks like a baseball team because I can see the bat. To human, and it kind of goes on, and then
lots of baseball, I see.
yes, and then back to the newsletters from the CCC camp. And my dad had a wonderful experience. He loved Hot Springs. Here's their Thanksgiving menu that they had for the CCC camp for Wind Cave. And of course, here's his team and some of the guys working, and just tons of these newsletters. And obviously his aunt, he sent them home to them with his paycheck. So
Excellent.
anyway,
what did you see in the impact of the CCC on him? How did it impact him?
well, I think he loved the Black Hills, even though he lived in Artesian and Mitchell, South Dakota. And as we would go travel in the hills as kids, everywhere we went, he would say, the CCC's made this. We have to go up to Harney Peak because the CCC's put this. And it was a great experience for him. And it also made him want to go back to college and get his college degree and be a teacher instead of doing hard labor for the rest of his life.
I asked one of the gentlemen who did it, and he was giving me the average work there, and said, boy, he must have kept you in shape. Was there, and I ask you this because I asked each one of the men who's still living the same thing, was there one, well, I guess getting the college degree, beyond that, the work ethic or something, did something else impact him that you saw he carried through his life?
I would say it's mainly just that, he knew he never wanted to be in the Army particularly, and that college degree and working with people and stuff like that he would rather do than pour cement. But he loved Wind Cave, and we had many tours of Wind Cave where he was telling us where he'd been and pieces of rocks that he had and stuff.
And what was that like for you when he would say, I worked on this? How did you react?
Well, we were probably 10, and my brother and I were probably 10 and 14 and stuff like that. And he was one of these really proud people, and he was proud of everything that he did. So it made us proud too.
Okay. Could you do me one more favor? Radio's all about sound. Could you, as you don't have to go through everything, but just go through the pages and mention a couple of things. Make noises as we're going through, so I can get those sounds.
Let's see. Let's start here. Here we have papers that came from this. They had a newsletter that came out, and this was the Wind Cave newsletter, which would have all kinds of pieces of stories, and people could write stories. And I actually see Huisinga. My dad did the pitching for Wind Cave, and there's also his dispatch record. You know, in the 1930s, people kept all their records, and they had lots of scrapbooks, and his occupation and how tall he was, and all those kind of things. And as I turn the pages, I see lots of pictures of people that I don't know who they are, but he could have, when he would look at this book, he always knew that this was part of his heritage, that went along with that era for in 1935. And I see this one's December 1936. There's also the Thanksgiving menu that had all kinds of fresh food, oyster dressing, sweet pickles, cranberry sauce, and cigarettes and cigars included in the Thanksgiving menu.
Excellent. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you.